Good morning, folks. December 21st. It is the winter solstice, the shortest day of the year, and both in the turning point. You know, our days will start getting longer going forward, and our period of darkness will get shorter. It's nice. Doesn't necessarily mean it's going to get warmer. That's yet to come, but we should be getting, we will be getting more hours of daylight, so that's great. So I started a video over a week ago about homeschooling, why Julie and I do it, and why we think it's a prudent way to raise your kids if you want to provide a little more shelter from some of this gross stuff that's happening in society. And each time I would complete the video, I would be, in my recess, I would be looking at other videos, and I'd come across something atrocious as, it would be another example of why we homeschool. Or I would come across another content creator's post about homeschooling, and I agreed with a lot of it, and I wanted to include it in my video. That was Appalachia's Homestead with Patara. She had a video on saving your children and the power of homeschooling, basically. So I made a video with that, talking about the points I agreed with, and then I get done and I come across an article, probably the most disgusting thing I've heard yet, which is hard to believe, but a private school in the suburbs of Chicago, known as Lincoln Park, brought in trans people and sex toys to a high school, and distribute them, and had conversations about them and everything. And the superintendent of the school, I believe he was a school superintendent, but the gentleman in charge, anyhow, bragged about how these kids were being given dildos and butt plugs, and how it was, great to see, and how he was just really happy that these kids were learning about this stuff, and it was just really, really, really disturbing. I don't care what side of the fence you sit on or don't sit on, or whatever the case may be. We don't indoctrinate minors with any ideology as it pertains to sex, and we certainly don't do it bringing in sex toys and having these kind of conversations, with anything other really than your parent, the kid's parents. Quite honestly, this is just really, really disturbing. So, and it's funny because I don't think it really made national news, as you would expect, but I'll put the link up here in our video and down in the description. And there's a couple that did it. Matt Walsh covered Project Veritas's video, and then Project Veritas themselves has a pretty good video, obviously. So you got some options to look at and see the story, but it just drives home the point of why we homeschool our kids. One of the biggest things that Julie and I feel we needed to take action against was exposure and physical danger, shootings and sexual assaults and things like that happen in schools nowadays. This is just this just takes the cake. It really, really does, and it kind of throws me for a loop. I had a lot of facts and everything lined up for the homeschooling video. And I was so flabbergasted after this. I'm like, forget it. I don't even need to make my point anymore. The ultra left is making it for us on a daily process. And a story like this just reinforces that my wife and I are doing the right thing. And it reinforces the video that Patara put out about homeschooling. You're no longer witnessing a fringe element, a fringe thing happening. It's gone full mainstream, and school isn't about ABCs, 1, 2, 3s anymore. It's become I don't know how to explain it. It's become an exposure, an opportunity for children to be exposed to far left social issues. That's really all it is. The ABCs, 1, 2, 3s are far, far behind that priority. And I'll give you the example of the COVID, pandemic, quote unquote. The kids that have gone through school through that period have basically lost 3 years of education, or they've gotten subprime education at the very least. I mean, we saw all the stories of kids doing homework via Wi-Fi next to a school bus in some field in Florida, or having to go to like a McDonald's to get Wi-Fi to do schoolwork. We've seen the videos of professionals being exposing themselves on videos. We've seen the videos where kids are just completely asleep and not paying any attention in class. It's just gotten really, really bad. They haven't gotten the education that they deserve, or that we've paid for with our tax dollars. And these things are starting to come full circle as we see these kids graduate and go into college, and we have to lower the standards on almost everything because they're no longer prepared. Very, very troublesome. So I look at these stories, and I guess I just really thank the Lord that Julie and I are fortunate enough to be able to do homeschooling, because that's really what it comes down to. I bet you there's lots more parents that would do homeschooling if they could. It wasn't easy for us. We certainly have made our sacrifices, especially my wife. My wife sacrifices a lot of time, and we sacrifice income that one or both of us could be doing. So there's going to be sacrifices, but the reality is it's for a relatively short time. And the alternative is this: sending your kid off to a school and having some yahoo bringing dildos and butt plugs and transvestites and everything else to teach your kids about them. That to me is grooming, because and you see in this video, this gentleman is of that persuasion. He's clearly gay, and he speaks about it, and it's almost like he's gleefully creating new recruits. It's really, really disturbing. So yeah, I guess that throws my whole homeschooling video for a loop. I'm just going to put up links to both Patara's video and this Project Veritas incident. And I encourage folks to watch them. I'd love to hear what you think about homeschooling. To me, the list is long of reasons why you should homeschool. Everything from it's dangerous, it's a waste of time, it's an indoctrination of your kids. Our kids are not coming out of these schools prepared to be adults. they squash the independent thought process, and they're creating a cookie cutter child that believes only one agenda's views, one group's views, one group's agenda is being forced. And it's just disturbing. So thanks for viewing this short video. Go over and watch those other two videos. I really encourage it. Have a great day.